Disclaimer. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Ken Penders. To avoid spreading misinformation, the videos where I got this information will be left in the description alongside the Sonic Armageddon pitch so you can watch the whole thing for yourself. Alongside that, Editor Me has put corrections when I got any information wrong in the video. Please do not harass or attack Ken Penders, Archie Comics, Sega, or anybody else involved with this crazy story. And with that, please enjoy the video. Although the best part was when he decided to sue Sega for this, literally the judge was like, "You're also suing Archie Comics. Finish that lawsuit and then you can come here." And you know what he did? You know how he reacted to that information? He tried to file the lawsuit again.
No.
I never wanted this for you. I worked my whole life. I don't apologize to take care of my family. And I refused to be a fool. Dancing on the string held by all those big shots.
It's not personal. It's strictly business.
And we're back. We're back with some more Minecraft. And today we're going to talk about Ken Penders because I brought it up last episode and now I'm excited. So, Anna, do you know the name Ken Penders?
No.
Okay. I am so excited to tell you about this now because this is like I said this in like the back end of the last episode, how Ken Penders is like incredibly similar to Chris Chan in a way. Like, it's definitely not as grand, and there's definitely a lot less history, and it's definitely a lot less gross, but it is just as funny. So, okay, so you know how they don't do it anymore, but you know how Archie used to have a Sonic the Hedgehog comic run?
Yeah.
So during that run, Sega or Archie actually wanted to have this guy. I don't remember his name. I'll put it up on the screen if I remember. But he worked with fucking Marvel. He worked with DC, and he actually worked for Disney as a comic writer. So yeah, big name. And they wanted him to come in and write for Sonic. But he turned it down because he didn't know anything about Sonic. But he did tell them about Ken Penders, who also didn't know anything about Sonic, but his kid was a big Sonic fan. So they hired Ken Penders, and this dude, the shit he did in some of those Archie comics is insane. Like, I don't remember everything. I'll try to remember as much as I can. But after this episode, I'm going to link you, like, at least 2 videos about Ken Penders. I request that you watch both of them. Because, goddamn, it's so interesting and it's super funny. But, so, one of the major things was, Ken had a very big tendency to create characters that just came out of nowhere. And when I say create characters, I'm talking like derivative characters. So like he would create like Sonic, but it's a girl. And he's like, oh, it's Sonic's mom. Or like he would create Sonic, but he's not Sonic, but he's actually Robin Hood. But he's also still a hedgehog and he's blue. And looks almost exactly like Sonic. Like, this dude, like, it's crazy. But he, for some odd reason, was completely obsessed with Knuckles. Which, understandable, Knuckles is fucking cool. I love Knuckles. Yeah. This man wrote so much shit about Knuckles that he then later had the audacity to, when the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie featured a scene that mentioned Knuckles' dad, Ken Penders literally threatened to sue Paramount for even mentioning Knuckles having a father. And at the time, Sega had very little rules about what the writers could do with the Sonic character.
Why is it a problem that they mentioned like Knuckles' dad?
Because he thinks because he's a fucking man-child who fucking thinks that he owns, like, so many different characters, and he's so pretentious that he really thinks that Paramount is gonna steal his idea.
Bruh.
Like, he's just an egotistical, narcissistic asshole who thinks he owns, like, 95% of Knuckles lore, which technically he does because
He owns Knuckles lore?
No, like, 95% of it. Because, like, most Knuckles lore came out during his run, but, like, most of it was retconned because they fucking hated his writing.
Mm-hmm.
Or they wanted to distance themselves from Ken Penders so much that they literally had to completely restart the universe that they were doing just to get rid of his characters. So, yeah, it's fucking crazy. So, like I said, so back then, Sega didn't really give a shit what Archie did with the Sonic characters. It's why we got, like, storylines where, like, Tails, like, fuses with his other multiversal parts to become, like, a demigod or some shit. Or, like, fucking that one time when Tails got a crush on Sally Acorn and got mad at Sonic for trying to steal his girl, and they actually had a fight.
Bro.
Like, yeah, like, Sonic comics were fucking weird back then. Now, like, with IDW, they have so many fucking rules. Like, let me see if I can find some of the rules that IDW has to follow just to keep writing Sonic shit. Sega's rules for IDW comics. Let me see here. Come on, it has to be somewhere. There's a specific image. Yes, I found it. So, the rules that IDW has to follow, because Archie stopped doing their comic run, and so IDW now does Sonic comics, and from what I've heard, they're really good. I haven't read them personally. Also, it's Betty Bytime in Minecraft.
Damn.
But, so, here's some of the Sega mandates for IDW. And I'll read it just straight up as it says. So, here's what I got for all the mandates so far. 1. Sonic must not get over-emotional. 2. Sonic must be single and cannot date Amy Rose even if it's temporary. 3. Sonic characters must not have parents or relatives, even though we had Sonic's parents, Tails' parents, and Knuckles' parents, Charmy's parents, Uncle Chuck, and so on. 4. Sonic and other Sega characters must act a certain way. 5. Sonic and other Sega characters cannot be changed in any way, unless Sega approves. 6. Sonic and other Sega characters must not die. 7. Sonic and other Sega characters must not experience any sort of meaningful loss. 8. 8. The current planet must not be named. So, like, they can't say, like, Mobius or some shit. Okay. 9. There can be no indication that Sega characters have aged. 10. Sonic battle characters like Shadow Androids, Emerald, G-Merle, and Metal Eggman cannot be used. 11. Backstories for Sega characters apparently cannot be done, according to a Sonicgram regarding Amy's backstory in SU number 48. 12. Sonic Underground elements cannot be introduced into the comics and could possibly be the cancellation of the Sonic Underground epilogue.
Bro, don't do this to me.
Like, bro, I'm almost certain they did most of those, if not all of those, specifically because of Ken Penders.
Damn! You know, like, okay, you want to know, like, what the best thing is? 13-year-old me is crying, screaming, and throwing up specifically because it's like Sonic can't date anyone.
I agree. Let Sonic fuck.
What do you mean?
Let Sonic fuck.
Let him have a GF, bro.
Let him have a GF and let it be modern day Amy. We have to exclaim that.
Yeah,
It can't be Stalker Amy from like
From Sonic
everything
X.
from like everything before Sonic Forces.
Yeah. Can it be fucking Amy from Sonic Prime though?
Of course. In fact, I would
Please.
prefer if it was Amy from Sonic Prime and/or Sonic Boom, the cartoon, not the game. But
So yeah, like the worst version of Amy for me, like in my experience, was definitely like Sonic X.
yeah, I mean, like, okay, I don't have a problem with any of Amy's appearances in the game.
Mhm.
I don't remember her characterization in Sonic X. I'm sure I will when I eventually go back and rewatch the series.
Mhm.
I don't care if it's shit. I still want to rewatch it anyway, and I'll probably like it because I'm a fucking big Sonic nerd and I'm fucking
Yes.
autistic as shit.
Yes.
But so one of the major things that Ken Penders did during his run is that he really, really, really wanted one of his characters, who I don't remember the name of him, but he was basically just Pepe Le Pew, but a Sonic character. He wanted that Acorn. He wanted that character to date Sally Acorn. Big problem though. That character in the comics was 36. Sally Acorn in the comics is like 16.
Bro, no.
And like people brought it up to him, and like he literally was like, "Oh well, the fucking age of consent in Texas is 16." And I remember I watched a video, and it's one of the videos I'll send to you, talking about the Ken Penders shit, and like literally he makes a joke about how like you should never trust somebody who knows the age of consent in their state off the top of their head. You just shouldn't.
Bro.
But so I'm trying to think, is there anything else?
Bro, they made fucking Sonic cry. Why can't he cry though? Let him have feelings.
For real though. Like
I'm sorry, I just like looked up some of the pictures.
for real though. But
This guy looks
here, I need to cut down some trees because I need wood. But yeah, no, like fucking Ken Penders is fucking crazy. Like I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh yes, I remember another thing. So you know of Scourge the Hedgehog, correct?
Yay.
So during Ken Penders' run, there was one time when Scourge disguised himself as Sonic the Hedgehog. And there was a panel that very much implied that he had sex with Bunny Rabbit disguised as Sonic, which is
Bruh.
rape. May I remind the crowd that is rape. So Ken Penders pretty much just elicited, or literally implied, in a Sonic comic that is meant for kids, that Scourge the Hedgehog tricked Bunny Rabbit into having sex with him.
Bro.
This dude is literally insane.
Was he the one that introduced Scourge into the comics?
Yes, with a massive asterisk. So, he introduced a character named Evil Sonic. Evil Sonic.
Great.
So, okay. Evil Sonic was an alternate universe version of Sonic the Hedgehog who wore a leather jacket and sunglasses and was just a bad version of Sonic the Hedgehog. And so Ken Penders created that character. And when he was fired and they kicked him off the team, the Sonic comic team, they did like the idea of an evil version of Sonic, so they transformed his character into Scourge. So technically Scourge was created by Ken Penders, but the specific like characterization and design weren't. Also, I'm sure there's gonna be people who will get mad because I keep saying scourge in a very weird way, but it's just a weird word. Shut the fuck up.
Said scourge.
But scourge, I think.
Yeah.
But it's like SCOURGE.
Yep.
So it's like scourge. Which is like the most 80s thing ever. But yeah, no, that's the Ken Penders shit. And oh my god, I completely forgot. So, like I said, Ken Penders is super addicted with like Knuckles. He loves Knuckles, which again, can't fault him for that. Knuckles is great. And so because he got like he was like the main writer for the Knuckles comics, and he went in on like I said, he went in on Knuckles lore, but what he really liked to focus on was like Knuckles' family. And there was a character who I don't remember the name of. Actually, I should probably look up the name of the character because it's pretty important.
Yeah.
Ken Penders, Knuckles' daughter. What's her name? Laura Sue, that's right. So
Is this the... I think I know who you're talking about.
so he wrote in a character who is meant to be Knuckles' daughter from the future, who is a part of a group of evil echidnas who were sealed away into an alternate dimension by the echidnas. And so, like, she's meant to be his daughter, and she reformed from that group. Oh, this leads into the best part, too, but I'll get to that in a second. And so, this character, Lara Sue, she was pretty much, like, Ken Penders' like, main character. Like, if he was gonna do anything, he was gonna do it with Lara Sue. And eventually, after he got fired and he noticed that he could take those characters, he sued both... Well, okay, he sued Archie for taking the characters, technically. And he also sued Sega, but I'll talk about that in a second. And obviously, because Archie was like, I'm pretty sure this was on the cusp of them being basically done with Sonic. They were like, we don't want to deal with this fucking shit anymore. So they were like, you can have these characters. We don't want them in the first place. And so he took those characters, and now he's allegedly going to create his own comic run called the Lara Sue Chronicles. And I'm going to put the image on the screen for how the art style looks, and I'm also going to send it to you. And I just want your genuine reaction to what this looks like. So all right, I sent it to you on Discord. You should get it in a second. But Jesus.
Fuck is this? Bro, why is one like so realistic? What is up with her face? Why she look like that though?
Oh my god.
Homie though. This is downright disgraceful.
So, okay. Final two things that are great. I want to start out with one that is pretty funny. So obviously the comics from the Archie era were loosely based around Sonic Sat AM. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously we got Sally Acorn, we got fucking Bunny Rabbit, we got all those guys, right? And when that show got canceled, they were initially going to bring it back, and Ken Penders actually decided to take the original script or the original idea of returning to Sonic's Head I Am and turn it into a movie called Sonic Armageddon. Also, please go to sleep in Minecraft. And it is the worst thing I've ever fucking seen in my life. It is so poorly made. It's legitimate Chris Chan shit. Like, he legitimately took his hand drawings of Sonic riding a hoverboard and put it over, like, stock images of, like, a forest with some really shitty voice acting. It is so funny. I'll send it to you after we're done recording. It is... Jesus. It is so funny.
This is way past cool.
Oh, thank you, Creeper. You actually helped with digging out this chunk. But so the final thing that I want to talk about Ken Penders. I'll shut up about this afterwards. So have you heard of a certain specific game called fuck it, what was it? It was like Sonic Chronicles of Darkness or some shit like that.
I think I've seen that one before.
It was Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
So, weirdly enough, this game, so it was a game for the DS that weirdly had a very similar concept to Ken Penders' idea of like a group of evil echidnas that were locked away in an alternate dimension or some shit like that. And so he decided to sue Sega for stealing his idea that he wrote for their comic. I'm almost certain that he lost. I'm pretty sure he lost.
Like, I don't know what he was thinking would happen otherwise.
Like, although the best part was when he decided to sue Sega for this, literally the judge was like, "You're also suing Archie Comics. Finish that lawsuit and then you can come here." And you know what he did? You know how he reacted to that information? He tried to file the lawsuit again.
No.
And the judge literally said the exact same shit. He was like, finish the lawsuit with Archie Comics. So, like, this dude is insane. This dude is insane. And he has now resorted to, like, he's constantly talking about how he's gonna create the fucking Lara Sue Chronicles, which he's not gonna fucking do, because he's a lazy, narcissistic asshole. He, like, I'm almost certain he knows that none of his fans, quote unquote, actually like his shit. They just know that he's a dumbass. So, like, he's basically just resorted to just trolling people on Twitter and like, trying to rile Sega up by constantly being like, "Oh, they're stealing my characters, they're doing this and that." But, dude, the fact that he went so hard in on the comics that fucking Sega literally wrote the fucking 10 Commandments for IDW that basically said that Sonic can't be anything other than this, like, perfect character who never dates anybody and is never overly emotional.
Gets me. Why can't he be emotional? He's literally 15.
Exactly. Like, literally, that's what I've been begging. Like, bro, please, let this character be anything other than a Gary Stu. Please.
Yeah.
And Sega was like, no. We're making sure that we don't get another Ken Penders situation here. But I thank you for indulging my ramblings about this crazy obsessed Knuckles fan.
No, JJ, this is probably one of my favorite aspects of recording shit. Is you just have, like, an archive of information in your brain about some of the weirdest fucking people on the internet.
I have an archive of all the cringiest people ever.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah, I
Chris
was
Chan,
gonna say,
got
like,
Ken
feel like a
Penders.
separate vault of information for Chris Chan alone. Just like the shit that you know about him is kind of mind-boggling, actually.
It's disturbing how much shit you know about Chris Chan, JJ. It's time to
I was
stop.
gonna say, I hate how much you remember.
Yeah, well, because, like, I'll start talking about it, and then it'll all come flooding back.
Yeah, yep. I still remember, like, watching those, like, videos about Chris Chan, and I still haven't picked them back up after the Blue Spike stuff.
Honestly, I can't judge you for that. That shit was fucked.
Yeah,
It was
it
just
wasn't
straight
even, like,
fucked.
it was funny up until then. It was no longer funny.
Yeah.
Shocking, I know.
You know what also isn't funny? Having to end
The
the
end of the
episode.
episode? Damn it!
I think it's my turn to give the kisses.
Yes,
Alright.
sir.
Everyone line up. Little. And Ken Penders, you can fuck off. I'm not giving you a forehead kiss. Get your
I was like, you should have made a farting noise. You just fart in his face.
just fucking Also, I should send you.
Exactly.
Let me send you a picture of what Ken Penders looks like, homie.
I already googled him. I know what he looks like. He looks like a dweeb.
Dude, dude.
Scraggly old fart.
I
He
can't.
hasn't showered in 9 years. And this crack.